Hi guys, welcome to this month's e-commerce network session that we're doing together with the Swedish Chamber of Commerce in China. The topic of this month will be new retail. My name is Simon Kai from Triple Digit, and together with me I have
Helena Svensson from Empress Consulting.
So just to give you guys an idea what we're going to talk about. So we will first start with the introduction of what is new retail, and then we will quickly move on to the case studies, which will represent some different scenarios, which is very interesting to learn about. And then at the last point, we will just have a discussion about maybe the potential future of new retail for e-commerce.
Okay, so a little bit introduction of new retail. So new retail is a concept basically, and it's the integration of online and offline retail together. And it was sort of created to enhance the customer experience in the offline and online store by utilizing data, digital tools, logistics, warehousing, etc., to put everything together. And this concept was coined by Jack Ma at Alibaba, maybe around 6-8 years ago, when the online sales in China really started to eat off or take sales from the offline retail. So this was a new way to find a concept for people to actually still go to the offline stores and not for online and offline to compete with each other, but instead to have it as a one channel. It shouldn't matter where the customer goes shopping. So one of the first examples of this was created by Alibaba, and it's a supermarket called Helena, which is fresh hippo in English. So this store is sort of focused with the mobile phone. So the mobile phone or the smartphone is in focus. So when the customer go into the store, they can scan the QR codes for every product, where they can read about the product. They can see the expiry date, when it was made, where it's from. And they can also read reviews from other customers that have been shopping the products. They can also find recipes, basically everything that you need to know about the product. And also all the pricing in the store is digitalized. So this was a way to digitalize the offline retail in China. And when the customers wants to check out or pay for the products in the store, they will download the Hema app. And then you will make the payment in there as well, which is linked to Alipay, which is also owned by Alibaba. So when you have the offline app, or when you have the app, you can also place orders offline. So that means you can get all the fresh products delivered to your home. If you live within 3 kilometers, you can get it delivered within 30 minutes, which is a way to attract customers.
Helena, about the photo, I was just wondering, because you see like a bag on the top, right? Can you maybe explain what that is about?
Yeah, so here we can see. So when the customers are placing the orders online, the shop assistants in the stores will run around in the store, because the store is working as a logistics hub, you could say. So the shop assistants will check the orders that have been placed, and then they will put the products into these shopping bags. And then when they have fulfilled the order, they will send it up into the roof of the store, and then the products will be transported out to the delivery station, which is pretty cool. It's pretty special.
Yeah, definitely.
And yeah, and this after Alibaba created these Hema stores, also other online platforms also been launching their supermarkets like WeChat and JD under different names. So China has been early out with this sort of new retail concepts, but we can also see it happening now in the rest of the world. It's all about enhancing the offline experience. We see stores having staffless resources where you just scan QR codes to enter the stores and pay for it as well by exiting by paying online. So today we will say that new retail is not so much about the different channels, but it's more about different touch points that the customers will go through in their customer journey. And different touch points we can see, it can be an online store, it can be an offline store. They can also be QR codes that the customers are, for example, if you're in a restaurant, you can scan a QR code and to order your food. And in China, I would say, Simon, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but almost every restaurant now have this QR code system. So you sit down at the table and you place your order by scanning the QR code and do it through like a WeChat mini program.
Yes, that's correct.
This I haven't really seen so much in the West or in Sweden, but maybe it's coming. There could also be like virtual try-ons. So you can see on this picture here, for example, as well. This is an offline store, but the customer is not seeing the products physically. They are seeing them, on an online screen, and then you can touch it, and you can also place the order through this screen kind of system. And a few years ago, I was working with the Swedish new retail store concept in China. So it was a Swedish multi-brand store with different categories, everything from baby and mom to like fashion products. And we were promoting this as a Swedish lifestyle concept. And we had a Tmall store. We also had an offline retail store in the shopping mall. We also had a WeChat store. So basically the customer could place order in any of these stores if they wanted to shop. We also had a virtual shop assistant. So when the customer came to the offline store, they could scan the QR code to our shop assistant, which was a Swedish virtual assistant that could then give recommendation of the product when we had launching new products or collections. We will also send this out to the customers through WeChat, and we could then ask the customer to place the order in the WeChat store or Tmall store, or they could come offline if they really wanted to experience the products and touch and feel.
So can I ask a question about the difference between the online and offline store? I mean, what would you say were the major differences? Apart from online and offline. I mean, how you collaborated with the partners.
Yeah, as we've been discussing before, the Tmall store and the WeChat store, online stores, they need to have a lot of content, right? So here you put more information about the product, I would say, in the Tmall and the WeChat store. And in the offline store, then it's more about touch and feel and experience the product in real life. But if you wanted to know more about the product, then you could scan the QR codes to get to the product pages in the WeChat store. But the malls will also, when you work with a mall, sometimes you have to pay commission to the mall. So this could also be, a little bit complicated if you want to, it shouldn't matter where your customer is placing the order, right? But if you have to pay a commission to the shopping mall, of course, the mall don't want you to promote, your WeChat store, your Tmall store. So to really get this concept to work fully, I would recommend that you actually own your retail store. And that the mall shouldn't have so much, to do with how much sales you're actually creating, which can be a little bit of conflict.
Yes.
But we also had a lot of offline events in the store to build a community, to invite people to learn more about Swedish lifestyle in general, and then also, of course, to promote the product. But we were also attending a lot of other pop-up offline events where there were already an existing community that could actually be a good customer for our product, a good match. So here when we were bringing a pop-up offline store out, then we had to have QR codes. We couldn't bring stock with us. So basically we had maybe one product of each, and then if the customer wanted to buy it, then they could easily scan and order in the Tmall store, for example, and then we get the delivery within 2 days.
That's very smart.
Yeah, it was good. We also had live streaming in the Tmall store, but the live streaming were actually taking place in the offline retail store. So the sales would then happen in the Tmall store, but we could still promote the offline store for people to come by and also see what was going on.
Interesting, very interesting experience.
Yeah, very good learning. But of course, when you have this offline events and pop-ups, and this is it's a big operation, it's a big machinery, and so it requires a lot of resources, so you have to be aware of that if you're a brand, of course. And as we have talked about before, in China costs are not cheap. Rental for an offline space can be very, very expensive, And also, to have staff to run this also requires enough resources.
Yeah,
because you also
that's
want
true.
it to be consistent. Yeah.
Of course, of course.
We
It's a
also
large
seen that
investment.
Tmall, yeah, it is. We also see that Tmall is promoting the offline retail for them to also get a piece of the cake. So, for example, we've seen in Beijing, a few years ago, they opened a store together with Intersport, which is a multi-brand sports store, where Tmall were supporting with their technology. So you could, analyze the data. The customers could also have the experience of, trying on the shoes, basically virtually, and they could read more about the products on the different screens that they have around the store. So they were really digitalizing the store by using Tmall's innovation and to create the experience for the customers. We also saw that Tmall a few years ago launched 3D showrooms for more than 10,000 brands on Tmall for furniture. So customers could experience trying out the furniture inside their home by using this 3D showroom. And then when they wanted to place the order, they did that on the Tmall store, of course. They also did collaborations with L'Oreal, where they were launching or making new products, makeup products, that Tmall in their through their data and analysis could see that the customers were buying, and then they were launching it together offline. Also, Tmall do a lot of pop-up events, especially before big sales campaigns like Double 11. Then they probably go to these fancy big shopping malls, and they invite customers to come and attend the event and also to try out the different products and experience the brands as well.
Interesting to see that also the online platforms are going all the other way, right? Like going offline.
Exactly. And Tmall is just one example of that. Here we have another case study of an online platform. Simon, do you want to
Yes.
tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, sure. Definitely. So as you guys might know by now, we're doing online operation, like helping brands to sell in China. So we have seen this sort of like a hybrid mode, right? So this is a Shanghai-based online store called Look Now. They started, purely online, and now they also have offline locations. So it's a buyer store. So what that means is that they are purchasing like good products that they believe would work in Chinese market, and then they put it both online and offline. So the advantage with this kind of concept is obviously that they already have sort of like built up a fan base, right? That know about this store, and then they go to the physical store to try out the clothes, the bag, the shoes. So it's sort of like helping them to understand better for newer brands, and then they can choose to buy it in the store, or they can go online to purchase it.
Yeah, and this we can see this Look Now. They've been doing quite well in the recent years, and their offline stores are in very good locations as well. And you can see the picture here to the left. This is their window, basically the shop window. And every week they have a new theme. If they're launching like a new brand, or creating a very good experience for the customers to also come in and take pictures. So if you, for example, look at Xiaohongshu, the app, and the lifestyle app, which is like Instagram in China, you can see a lot of fan pictures in these stores of KOLs or KOCs and also normal people.
Yes, I can imagine.
So how important is this new retail for e-commerce? Simon, like you said, you are running quite a few brands now in your company online. But how important is the new retail? I know you've been telling us before that you're doing live streaming work with KOLs and KOCs, which is also part of new retail. But if we look at this, digitalizing the offline part, how important do you think that is for brands?
Yes, definitely. I mean, so my personal view is that I don't really promote to do sort of like offline locations until you really become bigger in China, were like more established. And the reason being, I think it's very important for many brands to know, is that when you work with sort of like a player such as Look Now, they do have a lot of power to control your brand's image as well as the pricing, right? So that is something which can hurt, especially like more premium brands a lot, if they're doing a lot of discounts, which you sort of cannot control. So that is sort of like a negative side of offline locations. And nowadays, with the different online tools on the Chinese e-commerce market, you can still, target sort of your ideal consumer group, using online spend. So it sort of like solves that issue. So yeah, that is still my primary view of how a brand should enter. But maybe Helena, you can mention some points which you might not disagree.
Yeah, no, I agree partly what you are saying, and like you said, maybe when the brand is big enough, they should go offline. But I still think it's good to try to take different opportunities to be offline. Doing a pop-up, for example, because there are a lot of products from the West that Chinese people don't know about, and they don't maybe see the value. And if it's just a product page online, of course, with a lot of information and so on, it might not be enough for the customer to actually, get hooked on it. And in order to sell it online, you also need to have, actual customers and reviews online, right? So the other
Yes,
customers, this is actually a good product that people are liking. So I think by being offline, it's also a good way for customers to really experience the product. And if you have sales shop assistants, you can also explain more about the product in real life, because a lot of people also they still prefer that, to have that
of
human
course,
interaction, and it's
of
also
course.
it creates trust, and yeah, for you to feel that this is a product you want to buy. And then when you gradually been doing this, then you have enough or people have enough knowledge about your product to actually buy it online as well.
That's correct. I agree with you.
I think
Depending
I
on
think it's a
which
circle.
product, yeah, depending on which
Exactly.
products, you might need to make it easy for people to understand the product, right? Touch it,
Yeah.
smell it, feel it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then if you meet the customer offline, then they maybe will put in social media, and then you can link that to your online store as well, to make the sales happen there. So I think it's still important to be offline if you can. Also, it's been difficult in China the past year because of lockdowns and COVID, of course, and that can make it hard to plan something for offline. But hopefully, it will be better in the coming years.
Yes. Let us see. All right.
Great. Okay. Thank you. So next topic, we will talk about B2B e-commerce platforms. Thank you for joining us today. If you would like to join our network, you are very welcome to contact either me or Simon. And here you have our contact information. Okay, thank you so much for today.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.